order that needs to be sent out.
Okay.
It's a order that we're donating, so
Okay.
it's bigger than usual.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Surprisingly, we can't hear it. She's in her Mustang.
Oh.
I can see the convertible handle right there.
Convertible, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I bet it's got the Ecotech.
No, it's a 5.0.
My truck has a bigger engine.
Huh.
Yes, but it doesn't sound as good as my wife's Mustang.
Has it got a V10 in it?
No, it's got the
It's
6
got about
liter V8. I hate it.
Come on, dude. Look slow as shit.
Alright, we're live everywhere now.
Okay.
Okay, let's start in 4-ish minutes.
Yeah, I've
And
just
don't get
gotta...
impatient enough just to start it.
I've gotta figure out how to fix the YouTube thing. Because every time we try to start a live, it tries to start it unlisted.
I know nothing about that.
Frank, you're the YouTube man. Also,
I don't go live on YouTube. And I
okay.
don't try to stream on YouTube.
I'm gonna try to sign into YouTube again because it requires you to authenticate it. Hold on, I gotta get to the other one. So I know you sent it in the messenger thing on the Google. I think it's this one. My computer is so loud.
Smelling your fingers, woman? That's what it looked like.
You guys are fucking weird.
I mean, you've known me for a while.
Yeah. Dave's asking for the meeting invite. Let me send him the shits. So, do you like that text message from Rachel?
That was cool.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, me either. Like I was saying the other day, it's interesting to see the people that we impact.
It really is. Also, you know, Rob is not one to praise anybody else's work. Alright. You need to
What
open
happened?
your YouTube app on
What
the
do you mean, what
iPhones.
happened?
kicked out.
None of us did it. I'm the only one who has capabilities of doing that.
Frank, open the YouTube app on iPhone.
Crazy day is going. I'm working on it, Chris.
Okay.
Hi, Crazy Dave.
Hello. It worked today.
Well, we're slowly
What
figuring
number?
out the issues. 83.
Chris, what number? That's what I figured. You should be signed in.
Cool. Now I can have a way to do things.
Alright. I'm muting you, Chris.
That's fine.
Let me get this record going. Welcome everybody to the gym list meeting for Juggalos in Recovery. My name is Frank. I am an alcoholic. I will be running the meeting tonight. Juggalos in Recovery is about the community in recovery. There is no judging here. Everyone is unique, and so is their recovery. Our topic tonight will be rolled on the gym list. Feel free to talk about our experience. Talk about your experience. This meeting is about an hour long. For any newcomers, we appreciate the strength and humility you bring to the meeting, and we are happy you are here. Before we go into the meeting, I am going to show some stuff. So you should be able to see my window. We have volunteers form for anybody who wants to join. Hey, we already got a response. Simple, easy, just so we know what you would like to do, where you would like to help us out. Also, with that, the gym list is now published on Amazon and on our website, hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Feel free to order that on Amazon or our website. Mind you, it is print to order, so when you order it will take a couple weeks to get to you because they will print it for your specific order. Website has been updated a little bit. It's got a donation link. It's got new merchandise for the holidays. New, as we here know, new meeting through Google Meets instead of Zoom. Yeah, a couple new things coming. There's a new meditation meeting coming on December 6th. It's going to be a guided meditation meeting. And then December 4th, this coming Sunday, is the next Miracles meeting. So be aware of that. Sunday there will be 2 meetings instead of 1. With that being said, I will roll the dice. Ooh, rolled a 6. Back to emotional health. Emotional health. What's the D30 roll for? Ooh, and a 17. Haha. So, category 6, emotional health. Number 17, yay, lucky 17. Community can help when dealing with your emotions. Roll again and merge the topics. Okay, so we got a number 1. Ooh, pain. Pain and emotional health and community. That's on night. And a 12. Alright. So, community can help when dealing with your emotions, and how can we adjust our outlook on life to feel less pain? We merge those together. To create the topic. So for me, you guys can translate it any way you want. This is just how I'm seeing it currently. When I was originally getting sober, I had issues dealing with emotions, and I still do at times, but I didn't understand how to deal with emotions initially. And I had to lean on other people who were in my personal community to be able to help me. I've talked about it plenty of times in these meetings. And then, how can we adjust our outlook on life to feel less pain? The only way I've learned and understood to be able to adjust my outlook is by leaning on someone else to guide me, because I can't learn something if I'm not shown how to do it. So not only do you have to lean on yourself to transfer pain into learning, or pain into a lesson so you don't get hurt again, and in a healthy way, building up a barrier instead of just blocking everybody out and shutting down. So I had to adjust my outlook on a lot of things in my life due to the fact of how I caused people pain and how I dealt with pain coming from other people. And then I had to reach out to people like in this meeting who understood where I was coming from and who could help me stop the bullshit going through my head, and weed out all the negativity and help me see what was really going on, the reality of life. So the community is a big thing. That's one thing that we focus on a lot here in Juggalos in Recovery, because it's extremely powerful. So put tabs on this thing. Alright, community can help when dealing with your emotions, and how can we adjust our outlook on life to feel less pain? So, to me, this translates into community and how it has helped you improve your life. Feel free to share. Or I will keep babbling. You can unmute and talk if you want. Don't make me keep babbling. Bricks, it's nice to see you. Jeremy, nice to see you. Fuck you, Crazy Dave. Hi, Josie.
Hi.
I'll say I agree with you, and I'll say that there's a lot of good points you made. Mine was not a depression as much as I fight with anger more than depression. And I used to solve a lot of things with violence. And it's hard to do that and let people help you, because you tend to isolate yourself, and other people don't want to be around you because they know that it can cause a very detrimental situation by saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. And it's took me a lot of therapy and a lot, like literally talking to y'all guys over the years, just to get to the point where I could reach out, I could talk, I could get to another mind frame. And if it wasn't for people like y'all as being my community, having a safe space that's not judging and that's not critiquing, that it would be a lot harder to start walking away and finding positive outlooks and a different perception on how everything goes. So that's just kind of my 2 cents.
I like it. So, feel free to raise your guys' virtual hands or chime in whenever you want. I'm going to start going on a mental bleh, because that's what I do, and I'm good at it.
Vomit at us, please.
Yep. So, when I was drinking, and I was in active addiction, even in my childhood before I really dealt with any physical form of addiction, I always really felt alone. I always found a way to handle things in myself. I dealt with things myself. I needed to express any emotion as a child. I wasn't allowed to express it anywhere when there's other people around due to making it me look weak or vulnerable or whatever the case was. Or I was just annoying the people around me. So I had to learn how to deal with things myself on a plane of existence that I wouldn't wish anybody else to be on. I lived in a house with 5 other people and I felt alone. Didn't really feel like I had anybody I could rely on for multiple years of my life. And then when I joined the military, I felt the same way. I never felt like I could rely on anybody. And it surprised me when I had someone that I could rely on, even if it was for a short moment of time. And then when I got out of the military, I found a community that was so unique and welcoming, but extremely defensive. But I fit in. And that was us, the Juggalo community. Because we've all been hurt. We've all know the pain of being cast out, not being understood. And at the time, one of my best friends, who was Juggalo, we were basically inseparable for years of drinking. And then I got sober. Once I got sober, I leaned on him for a little while because he was all I knew. And then at one point, I realized that I was outgrowing him in a maturity sense, an emotional and mental state, where he was not growing himself or he was growing at a different speed, and if I stuck around him long enough, he would keep dragging me back. So I had to step away. And then I dove into AA. And I got a lot of lessons and a lot of tools out of AA, but they still weren't my people. They weren't my type of people. I never really hung out with them. Like, when I was around them, my anxiety still came up because I just never really fit in. I was a very unique person compared to them. And then I started this. And then I had my first Juggalos in Recovery meeting in Oklahoma, and there's no anxiety, no hatred, no judging, all just understanding and love. And from that moment on, there's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but the community has always been there to back me up when I was at my lowest. And I've always done my best to be there for the community when they needed me the most. So no matter what you're dealing with, the people around you, the community that you call yours, can be and will be the backbone to how you get through things. We can't go through life alone. We're humans, we're made to be together. Accept that. Yes, you didn't know that, Dave? Humans are meant to be together.
No, it's not that. I was concerned to it. Stacy looked stressed as hell, and I seen her like pop her head. It wasn't me.
I don't know what goes on in that woman's brain. I don't even attempt to figure it out anymore. If she has a voice, she will tell me. She's not shy. She deals with me, Dave. Come on.
Poor woman.
You have no idea.
So, a big ass dog just ran across the road right in front of the car.
Did it have a collar on?
Nope, and I didn't stop.
I'm surprised. That was God giving you a reason to bring a dog home. I can't fight
No.
with God.
I'm in the Mustang. No.
Oh.
Too big. Big as Ruger. No, thank you.
Dave and I
Rupert
were
the Mustang.
thinking about road snacks.
Alright, back on topic. Who would like to share about community, emotional health, adjusting your point of view, your outlook on life to deal with pain? Or I can break these up. I got a pain thing I can go off on. So a lot of Chris unmuted. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I mean, we beat community to death years and years. You know, pretty much everybody in this room we've got at least a level of connection with. Dave and I go back, a million fucking years. You and I go back at least 10 years. And then Brooks has got a connection to my past that I was never expecting. And Josie's just Josie. And still have no idea who Jeremy is. But, we all have.
Hey.
Josie, you're special. You've got your own levels. Be good with that.
I have seen Jeremy in these rooms before, I believe.
Yeah, I know.
Correct?
He just rarely talks, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's okay. We still love Jeremy.
But especially when we're dealing with our level of community, we go into any room or any meeting for us as recovering addicts or people that are still just struggling with whatever it is we're struggling with. There's a good probability that we're going to have this level of connection that we wouldn't get in the outside world. So it's important for us to kind of lean on what we have as a community when we're dealing with difficult things, because one way or the other they'll be able to relate to us better than people outside of our circles.
I like that. One thing about dealing with pain that I've learned over the years. Of course, all of us know we've got 3 different versions of pain. We've got physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain. And they all hurt differently and for different lengths of period of time. Lengths of time. Why am I adding extra words to my words? Anyways. One thing I have focused on and learned somewhat early in my sobriety is that even though pain hurts in the moment, I believe that pain is there to remind you that you have something new to learn. There's a pinch to wake up from a dream, or a a Gibbs slap to the back of the head, be like, hey, pay attention. You got something else to learn. Any situation that has caused me pain, I have been able to learn from it. Whether it's to protect myself and set boundaries, whether it's to not do something stupid again, whether it's, I mean, how to lift weights right, how to pay attention when you're driving and not be on your phone, how it's, you know, perfect example. I'm a woodworker, I do woodworking. I was actually not talking about you, but I knew you would take it that way, lady. But anyways, I was woodworking really, really early in my woodworking career. And I was cutting a very, very thin piece of wood on a table saw. I cut it, and I reached over the guard to grab in the blade and sliced my fucking thumb almost all the way to the bone. So from that moment on, on my guard, on my little slide thing, it says, "Don't touch the blade, dumbass." And every time I look at it, I remember it because okay, well, wait till the so every time I cut a piece now, I roll that son of a bitch blade all the way down, so I don't have to worry about it. As you know, I have a small shop and I use my table saw as a bench sometimes, and I'm a dumbass. So that's why the blade's always in there unless I am actually using it. It's completely below the level, so I don't cut my finger anymore. Um, but it was pain. I caused it because I was stupid, and I learned from it. I learned safety precautions to use so I don't hurt myself anymore. You use the same thing when it comes to emotions. One thing I didn't do when I was growing up and in active addiction was learn from my mistakes with relationships. Boy, did I have to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and going after the same type of women over and over and over again. And it was, and my wife just threw me out the door. You see that?
Yep.
Um, but
D is
so
late.
many times, looking back, I was, of course, hindsight's 2020. You look back and you see the same or extremely similar actions repeat themselves over and over and over again. But when I was in the moment, I was like, no, this is different than last time. This person's not anything like that other person. But of course, I was just blinded to not wanting to be alone anymore. That's a lot of what my problem was. Excuse me. And it took a lot of time to be able to understand it's okay to be alone. And you can ask my wife. When I first met her, I was perfectly happy being alone. I still am. I spend hours by myself. She hates it. She's like, come home. If I'm out too long, that's what she does to me. Bye bye. I'm gonna sleep in my storage unit. Um, yeah. So it's one of those things. I, in the beginning, I got so used to being alone. Once I was comfortable being alone, that I made it my safe zone. I made my safe place, and I got stuck there. I wasn't making any progress in life. I was doing the same things all the time, being extremely safe, not getting hurt, not putting myself in harm's way in any type of way. And I pushed people away by doing that because being alone is safe. I was content. I wasn't happy, but I was content. I was content enough to believe I was happy. No one was making me do housework or go to parties or deal with people when I didn't want to deal with people. But when I met my wife, my life changed. And I realized that the things that I was protecting myself from, I didn't need protecting from. I just needed to learn how to deal with people. And that was something that I've never been good at, and some days I'm still not good at it. I have my moments though. I am sick of talking someone else talk. Bricks, how have you been, sir?
I've been okay. Been good.
Good.
Um, been a lot more happier lately. Just got a lot of good going on.
Good.
And it's a work in progress, but I'm good. I'm real okay.
Good. Have you got a sponsor yet?
I have not.
No, you need to work on that.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that.
Yes. That is your
Man,
main goal.
Dave's really making me laugh. He's got, he's got
Dave is
some
always
shit
a
going
laugh.
on.
I was gonna actually bring that up because we kind of have this weird connection, dude. And I talk to you every fucking day.
Yeah, you do,
It's 2
brother.
days since I met you that we haven't talked. So if you would like me to sponsor you, I'd be more than happy.
All right, Dave. I got you, bro. Hell yeah. I am down, bro. Like every day we seem to talk about something, and that's a positive thing, you know. And I gotta see you gotta see a crazy ass at the gathering.
Well, you'll see him
Oh yeah, definitely.
in the
Either
beginning,
San
and then you'll
Frank,
never see him again.
because we gotta what's that game we gotta play? Find where's
Morton's list.
Waldo, where's Bricks.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm gonna bring up the topics so Dean can know what they are since he just joined. So D, we ended up rolling a 17. Um, so we ended up having to merge two topics. So the first topic is on the
I'm
emotional
listening,
health.
but I can't talk yet.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know. Um, Category 6, emotional health. Community can help when dealing with your emotions. And then on the second topic, Category 1, pain. How can we adjust our outlook on life to feel less pain? That was what we rolled today. Chris, go ahead.
Frank, I gave you homework. Did you do your homework?
I've been doing my homework.
Okay.
I've been taking care of myself.
Okay. Now,
Made myself have days off from Juggalos and recovery,
mhm.
and if I have to respond to something, I make sure it's bare minimum. That way, I don't have to get into work brain right away.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been taking care of myself. I feel a lot better the last week or so.
Good. I'm just glad that you're taking care of yourself. Stacy's got some shit to say.
Rutro. Go ahead, Stacy.
Um, you know, I noticed like when you were talking about like the being alone shit and like how you're fine, y- but I was now have just now lost my grandmother not even a week ago. Like that being alone and by myself has been more uncomfortable than ever, but I don't talk to anyone. God damn it,
What?
Katie.
Oh.
That's why I came to the school. But like it's been so hard, and then the times that I reach out to people to like get some mental clarity that are not you, and nobody answers. And then when they don't answer, and I message you and you don't answer, it's like, okay, where's this group of people that said that they were there for me and would be there for me if they need me? One being playing Pokemon game, the other's doing whatever the fuck they're doing. And it gets really hard, so sometimes I go down the wrong, start feeling like, well, don't nobody want to fucking talk to me, whatever, I'm fucking done with people. But then, not taking into consideration that other people have lives too, except for you. Hard pill to swallow.
You
Stacy,
do realize, and I've told you this before, because your notifications of messages don't come through, you should probably call me if you want to talk.
I don't like doing that because the last time I called you just to talk to you,
I've never said anything bad about you calling me.
I would rather you call me when your grandmother dies or something like that, but not like when you're walking around Walmart.
No, it
Calling you is
wasn't because of
calling you.
Walmart. No, it wasn't because you were walking around Walmart. It was because you were calling me about a door you didn't give all the information that you needed about right when
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't call
leaving to
you.
work. Yes, you did.
I was calling you to ask you if that's what you were wanting to do, the same door. But that was in Lowe's. I'm talking about fucking Walmart.
I didn't say anything about Walmart.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did when you and I were on the phone. And then when I called you for my grandmother, you said, I'd rather you call me for this than stupid trips to Walmart.
No,
Those are times that I
you
need to talk to
misheard.
you. I did not, but okay. Those times is when, no matter if it's you or if it's my mom, if somebody makes that comment to me, I feel like it immediately, I guess you could say, puts like a guard or a defense up, and I don't want to talk to said person because I don't want to feel like I'm inconveniencing them. You know?
Okay.
I do that too.
I
I
think
have
we
that,
all do that.
Frank. I see her perspective, but I don't normally see it because I'm sitting in your seat. And it's really fucked up to see it on the other side because I'm really bad about doing exactly what she's explaining to you about. And it makes me want to call my girl and apologize.
Stacy, you should really expand your group of people that you can reach out to because
Yeah.
having your close circle of friends being the only people that you can talk to about the hardest shit is also a great way to make your friends not want to talk to you, as shitty as that is.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. I mean, I can't really help that from August to today, have lost 6, 7 things, 2 animals and 4 people.
You live with Frank. You should know by now that you have no control over the shitstorm that is life. But,
Oh, that I know. I knew that before him.
you know, but
It's just, it's one of those things that it's really hard when he's gone. The one animal that I had that made me feel safe and comfortable without Frank, before Frank, was my dog that I had to put down in August, and then my husband left a few days later.
right. The big thing here is it's not that you have shitty friends. It's that emotions are taxing, and not all of us have the deep well to talk through taxing things. So I think it would be good for you, especially with everything that's been going on this last 6 months, to reach out to other people, people that haven't had a chance to experience what your life has been, so that you can have this fresh perspective, and people that aren't, emotionally brought down already. Not to say that your friends aren't great at being friends, but at some point they may not be able to give you what you need. And that's not your
Yeah.
fault.
That just means their cup is empty and have nothing to give to you. Has nothing to do with you. I deal with it all the time too.
We all do. This is why we only dedicate a couple of days a week for this.
Hey, you said
Well,
you
not
couldn't
only
break
that,
Google. I broke it.
how'd you break Google?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Funny thing, I try to be there and try to communicate with everyone in a sense, and then utter chaos. You guys said you can't break Google. I broke Google. I couldn't figure out this, my phone, my laptop, headphones, any communication to outside world besides people that were around me and someone else's animal, which I broke cat and broke Google. So there you go. I don't know. It's possible. I was told it's not. It's possible. It works now.
It sounds like you broke your devices because it's been working for us.
No, no. Yes and no. Device is good. Brain is not, but brain is better.
I don't know about
So,
the four-way split we had the last time we talked, Chris. I mean, you had to bring me through because the damn thing wouldn't work.
Well, we figured out what the issue was. Is it was the way the meetings were created. I didn't end up having host privileges, so I couldn't actually let anybody into the room except for people that were already registered under Juggalos and recovery domains.
that was a learning experience for all of us. But one thing that I have dealt with is when I reach out to other people for help. It a lot, not a lot of the time. Some of the times, I don't get the communication back from them that I feel that I need, and for me, I do my best to understand that they might be dealing with something, or they might not have the emotional or mental strength to deal with it at that point in time. So I find someone else who can help me. Um, and sometimes life gives you the opportunity to have to deal with things by yourself. And those times are extremely hard. A lot of the times when I lost a family member, I didn't want to be alone. For a person like me who enjoys being alone the majority of the time, there's plenty of times where I cannot stand being alone.
Well, I also think it's important, especially in dealing in the situations we're talking about. If you're trying to talk to somebody that doesn't have any kind of experience with the things that you're dealing with, they're not going to be able to do anything to help you except for listening to what your issues are. So, it might be helpful to seek out similar minded individuals or people that have gone through the same type of experiences to get any kind of result.
That's true. Because there's some things that my wife is dealing with right now that I can't understand because I've never dealt with it. Even though I've tried to wrap my head around it, it doesn't make sense to me. So it's hard for me to be there for certain situations when I don't understand those situations. I can listen, but listening only goes so far.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is that until we've got the ability to comment from experience, a lot of the time it's better for us to just listen. Let the people say what they need to say to get those emotions off their chest, to get that stress out of their brain, and then go from there. Because that's all we're really good for in that moment.
What are you thinking about over there, lady?
You look deep in contemplation.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed, and I can only speak about you, Frank, and to be quite frank, if you don't like being left alone, why would you think I wouldn't want you to try to contact me? See, for instance, you told me that you were giving me space when you're already giving me copious amounts of fucking space as it is. I can't hug you. I can't talk to you and like face to face, and then I have to be the one to approach you to talk to you because of every bullshit that I'm going through.
Right, because I cannot read your mind and you don't tell me what you need. I can't give you what you need if you don't tell me.
Well, I mean, the shoe could be on the other foot. I fucking communicated with you when your grandfather died this year and constantly checked on you, and you do it for other people, but when it comes to me, that's where it gets kind of like, why do I get something different? Like, you don't call and check on me or shoot a text and just ask or just straight up anything. Because that's what I've told you. I told you that's what I needed. I needed to not have to always start conversations with people when I'm dealing with a lot of emotional shit, because I don't normally talk about my emotional shit with anyone, as you will know.
And how many times do I have to pull your emotions out of you instead of you just telling me about them? It's a lot of work for someone who isn't there to actually get you to talk. I'm not going to take all the responsibility for this. These are your emotions, not mine. I have asked how you were doing. Maybe not to the point of what you want me to, but I have. You cannot put blame on me for not asking at the right moment. I am only human. I am only awake a certain amount of time that you're awake. And it has never stopped me from waking up in the middle of the night when you call to answer the phone and be there for you. But you've got to tell me when you need it.
I only call you in the middle of the night when somebody's dead. I don't call you just to talk to you. It's literally never a good thing when I call you in the middle of the night.
The
I
way
don't
your
like calling
emotional
you.
the way your mental and emotional state is right now, it's not a good thing. I've been worried about you for months, but you won't open up. And I'm not going to drag it out of you. You'll tell me when you're ready.
I don't know what to tell you.
Then what am I going to drag out of you if you don't know what it is? How is that now my problem because you don't understand what you're dealing with? You're
I
putting
understand what
pressure.
I'm dealing with it. I understand what I'm going through. But to communicate that to you is a whole different another ball game. Because I can communicate with my mom, tell her what's going on, and it's not like I'm being told how to fix the situation or how to like deal with the situation in some aspects, you know? That's what gets hard and difficult.
I'm confused. Chris, feel free to chime in.
I mean, like, this just feels like the best time to talk about emotional intelligence. Because there's always a different level of understanding of emotional landscapes when dealing with people on a regular basis and then dealing with grief. And this is something that I've had to talk about with a lot of people because the idea of losing somebody that you're close to completely changes the way that you respond to just about everything, and your needs are constantly changing as you're going through each stage. So, without somebody being able to instantly communicate the thing that they need in that exact same moment, that's going to change day by day. As things change inside your own emotional landscape, your needs are going to be constantly in flux. And unless you have that ability to read what's going on inside of yourself, you do not have the ability to communicate that to anybody else. Looks like D has something to say on this too.
I've been listening the whole time. I've
Eddie.
just been busy. Um, so I know for me personally, like, so my wife, I was in prison, and every year right after her birthday, a family member died. Um, she bottles her emotions, and it didn't matter how much I tried to understand. I could never understand because I've never lost anybody that close to me. And she wasn't always trying to talk. She just wanted me to be there to listen or to hold her or to whatever the case may be. And this is 2010 to 2014. And every year around the time that she lost people, it's still the same. It's just not as bad. And I don't think she's ever like fully spoke with me about anything. That's a hard part. But for me, like personally with the pain and dealing with pain emotionally, I think that pain has been a necessary part of my sobriety to be able to grow. Because I like to say I learn at the speed of pain. Once the pain's great enough, then I'll choose to try something new or do something new. And until then, I suffer. So that's just always been kind of the normal thing for me with emotionally dealing with things, is going through those feelings so I don't make those same mistakes.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing else to say. I don't know what else to say on this topic.
You know, I don't really know what to say on this one either. That's all I had to say on that. Stacy, do you have anything to chime in about us all telling you what to do?
As far as like you said, I need to go get Henry from school.
Nice to see you once again, Stacy. It's been a while.
Our phone doesn't like you. If you talked, it fell.
And now Henry slammed the truck and got in the car. Oh shit, Henry. Some of this stuff, I mean, it's the only thing I heard because your wife lost somebody at her birthday almost every single time from 2010, 2014. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I was in prison when that happened, and like all she wanted me to do was be there for her, and I couldn't. And I don't think she's ever actually processed and talked about any type of feelings. It's just depression that she goes through every year that I sit there and try to help and am absolutely useless. So
Saying that makes, it a harder thing because Frank used to say the same thing that, oh, New Year's is not the same because his mom's birthday is in December at the end. And holy shit, no, wait, those are tumbleweeds. Um, so I do understand, you know, like anniversaries and or the passing dates of people being hungry because I can only imagine what it's going to feel like next year. But like for me, trying to communicate with anybody is not just trying to get to anybody. It's everybody wants to get told I'm like, okay, they can hear all this something, never, just like I don't ever feel like I could just be myself or calm or just not say anything but have someone talk to me in any form without me having to start conversations with people. And when me having to start a conversation about what fucking weather is or kids are like most vulnerable to this shit is not something that I really think about. It's when shit happens, I fucking do when it's just an added thing. So, what I think about, I guess. So just, to me, it just feels like something just keeps on top, or stuff just keeps adding up. And it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm tired. Stop doing shit.
And there's so many things going on, or so many things that have happened. It's hard to find the right people to help in those situations, especially to help you with so many things at the same time. From my understanding of what you're dealing with right now, you haven't had time to really process anything. So you've got all these passings that are just stacked up on top of each other. And coming from my point of view, when you go to talk about them, you don't talk straight about the point. You don't directly talk about your emotions. You talk around them. Because from what I've seen, those emotions scare you. For whatever reason, I'm not even going to guess. It might just not be the right time of day. It just might not be the right moment for you to be able to handle those things. I used to take hours to try to get you to talk about these things. But I will not pull emotions or feelings out from anybody anymore. Because I have hurt people by doing that. You pointed that out to me. I am always here for you to talk. But I am not willing to sit here and listen to you talk around the things that matter because you're not ready to talk about them yet. And I gave you space because that's what I felt was needed at that point. You didn't say anything else. I put effort forward. I talked to you. I texted you. But never did you say anything more than typical everyday bullshit. Go ahead, Chris.
So this is a question directly for pretty much everybody in the room, because this is something that a lot of us have to deal with because the majority of us operate either as independent people or we have to be everybody else's rock. So we don't give ourselves permission to navigate emotions the way that, people without responsibilities do. So when is the time that you give yourself permission to feel your own feelings? When is it the time that you say, now is the perfect time for me to have this fucking mental breakdown that's going to happen because I'm dealing with every possible stressor that I can handle at this very moment? Frank, we just had this with you. You know, you need to give yourself that time to feel your shit, figure out the way to navigate it, and then go from there. With Stacy's having this massive, fucking tornado of everything happening, when was the last time that she gave herself time to deal with that?
I've been asking her that for years.
While we would love to be islands onto men, we can't all be an island. At some point we're gonna end up having an explosion. We're gonna break because, we're human, we're fallible. It's gonna happen. It's happened to everybody else in this room a handful of times, I'm sure.
Happened to me plenty of times. When my grandfather passed, I went home for 2 weeks, went back to deployment, and I had to push everything down. I believe I got back like the very end of June, and on the 4th of July, driving back home, I just broke down. I couldn't handle it anymore. And, it happened with my mother, it happened with, just about everybody I've lost, all the big major things that I've dealt with. Happiness, sadness, depression, anger. I try to bottle up any of those emotions or not deal with them in a healthy manner. I end up just being what people like to tell me is over dramatic when they get released. I've been told I've been over dramatic my whole life, and it's not because I'm actually over dramatic, it's because I don't know how to deal with my emotions in the moment. And I've dealt with that for as far back as my childhood. Like, I'm talking about like before I hit double digits. Even my grandmother and when my mother was alive would tell me I was always an emotional kid, always over the top. I just didn't have any healthy outlets or healthy coping mechanisms. that I was capable of using on a daily basis.
I've never had the ability to deal with shit because once one thing happens, something else happens, and then something else happens, and something else happens. Day I had to put my cat down, came home, buried her. The next morning I had a flood in my fucking laundry room. Cleaned that up, took everything outside that needed to go outside. And the very next day after the flood, I broke my blinds that are built into my back door. So it doesn't stop. I can't get a break to even just deal with the death of my dog, more or less, to deal with something that just happened less than a week ago.
And that's
Here's
kind
my-
of my point here, is that, you know, life is chaos, and we have to give ourselves time to feel these things. You know, I just had to give Frank homework to, you know, change the way that he focuses on things. I know you're responsible for a ton of things. Give yourself 1 hour a day before bed, 10 minutes, whatever you can spare, to just feel your own feelings. Do something that is especially just for you. Because if you don't do these things that are for you, they end up affecting everybody around you.
And here's another thing I would like to point out about that scenario that you just said, is from my outsider perspective, when you have one major thing happen and you don't have time to process it, then little things become much bigger major issues. And those major issues tend to cover up the main issue. So if you let those minor issues that aren't detrimental to life affect you and focus on the main issue that's causing you this emotional or mental pain, then maybe things will get easier because you're learning different ways of coping with stuff.
I feel like I'm being mean to Stacy now.
You're definitely not being mean. I'm gonna get yelled at later for being mean, but you're not being mean.
No, Chris, I don't think that you're being mean at all. I just, like, you know, I've dealt with a lot of shit with this house. I've lived in the house more than Frank has, and that is the truth. I have to deal with everything that goes wrong with the house. I have to figure everything out when Frank's gone, and that's when everything seems to go to shit. And trying to take care of Henry and all of his health issues, my health issues, all the animals, the house, upkeep, keeping, the packages for Juggalos and recovery going. I mean, that's why I haven't been able to do that other meeting, because I'm not mentally okay to take that on. And I just am getting to the point that, okay, yeah, cool, Frank's coming home. Like, I'm excited, but that's in fucking January. I've got Christmas to deal with. What the fuck's gonna happen now?
You know, that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have the ability to handle everything all at once. You take it
Hey,
as much
Chris,
as you can.
let Josie handle this. It looks like she's got something important
I
to
was
say.
gonna say, let me talk for a second, because I was gonna say something that may make sense a little bit as a female. I would say, it seems like to me when bad shit happens, it happens in threes. I deal with it every 3 years. That nonsense happens. It feels like everything is combusting. I would say your best bet you should try to do, set a timer, take some time out of your day for yourself, and breathe. Drop all the other shit for a little while, and take time for yourself and do something simple you enjoy. I know with all the other chaos of Christmas nonsense, it's hard, Yeah, I get it. My daughter is basically being told she has to be away from everyone right now because she's got COVID. So hard to think of positive, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Take a few minutes, think of the positive you like in it, and use that. Doesn't have to be big. You could do it later.
It is beautiful to hear another woman's perspective because it is hard. This is one reason why I've been wanting an all women's meeting to start going, even if it has nothing to do with addiction. Because it is hard for a man to get through to a woman without other women thinking that we're putting them down. And it's not just because it's my wife, it's any woman I talk to, I get told that. So this is one reason why I would love to get a all women's meeting, just a all women support group going, because you women know how to talk to where it gets through. Us men don't.
That's
Well,
literally what Chris said.
well, women and men process emotions differently. We think differently. We act differently. When I hear Stacy talking about how she feels, it reminds me of my wife. And sometimes I am just helpless, and all she wants is to sit there and me to hold her hand while she cries and rambles or doesn't say a word. And I can't do nothing else because I'm not a mind reader. I don't understand things, and all I did was try to push her along in the grieving process. And it's gotten better, but it took like a decade of grieving every year. And Frank, what we were talking about yesterday, what did Josie just say? It happens in what?
Threes?
Because I was asking
Oh,
about
I know.
Stacy, and I
Yep.
was like, "Is that the third one?" And you said, "Well, fourth." I'm like, "Is that the third close one?" And I'm like, "Well, hopefully it's over for Stacy because she's going through a lot. That should be the
Yep.
last one for a while." Because everybody I know that's lost close people to them, three of them. It's never one. It's freaking three.
Yep.
Well, I got one more then.
So
Sad part
Are,
about
are
it,
they
but
are they all really close to you though? That's what I feel like the point is. How close were they?
three
The
close people, not you had three
no,
you,
close people,
Frank,
right?
cannot tell me who I am close
I'm
to and
not.
who I am
I'm
not.
okay.
I was gonna say, as the
You don't have to say shit like that because I was not telling you that I knew who you were close to. I was literally asking a question.
but I was gonna say, as the female, that how close were you thing doesn't work because females have different connections with people than males do. So that's kind of a hard one for you guys to understand because your grieving process is definitely different than a female's on how close. Because close can be they taught you a skill, they did something and taught you something, and you hold that and you live with the freaking fuck up of it or the lesson from it.
See, that's stuff I don't understand because to me there's different levels of closeness.
Yeah,
So I was not telling you how you were feeling.
when I say close, I'm usually like talking about people that you would consider family, like relatives, family, or people you consider family. Like when I say usually it happens in threes and it's close people, that's what I'm talking about. Just from what I've seen from a lot of friends losing a lot of people, I have not went through that process so much. I've lost people that I, like you were talking about, Josie, that I was close to and I take lessons from and hold dear and that are gone, but I wouldn't say they were close enough to me to where like the effects of it were long term, or the grieving process was long term. Because I didn't know them. They weren't that much of a part of my life for me to have that kind of thing going on.
Yeah, but that's why
I'll
I
be
would
right
say
back. I
guys
gotta
have
go
it
to the restroom.
easier at times. because
Any-
their grieving process can be the shorter one
I
because
don't know.
feelings and emotions are different.
Pushes me to the edge. So the very first, other than my dog that I had to put down in August, my ex-husband, my son's dad, is one of my really close friends, and his brother died like 2 weeks after putting my dog down. I have been a part of that family for 18 plus years. Frank's been in my life for going on 5 years. I don't even remember. It's been a hot minute. So I consider them very close, and they lived in Colorado. Both Henry, me, and my ex went to Colorado, and we're in Colorado. And then I get home, and about 2 weeks later, my fucking uncle gets sick and dies. And then about a week and a half later, I had to put my cat down because she was sick. And then about a week and a half after that, I lost another fucking animal. And then my grandmother dies.
Okay, so that answers the question. 3 people. That's what I was talking about. I mean, I get your pets are your family and you love them too. That's the 3 people.
The fourth person I just lost a few days ago was a friend back home that I went to high school with that I was super close to. In the female form. Didn't talk to her every single day, but I still cared a lot about her. I still checked on her and her kids weekly.
Well, hopefully that's the last one. I was just inquiring because I was asking.
I totally get it. Like, I was told the whole 3, they come in 3s, like, wholeheartedly. But for me, with having to deal with Frank being deployed and everything in this house, and then Frank's grandfather dying at the beginning of this year in the same month as our anniversary and my birthday, it's been a lot.
You know who would relate to you once again? I was in prison for my wife. Maybe you can fucking message her and go, "This is Stoker's wife, and I'm going through a lot. How did you deal with it?" Because she's lived exactly the same thing as you. Because I literally was in a jail cell for 4 years while she went through everything. He's on deployment, kind of similar. If anybody could relate with how you feel emotionally, it's probably my fucking wife. And she likes to bottle it up too. And she likes to take on the world too.
I don't like bottling things up, though. That's my thing.
Well, they internalize. They don't just easily get it out there because it's like pulling teeth to get it out there. And then not only did she did that, she had my first kid while I was in prison, gave birth to it, and then took care of it while helping take care of my autistic brother. So the weight of the world type thing, that's her avenue. That's somebody who has similar shit. That's somebody that might be able to help you better than any of us sitting here, because I couldn't fathom going through that amount of shit. So.
And
yeah, the hell with you.
Doing it alone. That's my biggest thing. Like, your wife has done it, so, I will more than likely message her, but it's just like going through all this shit alone, not having anyone. Like, I'm not even in a state where I have family close by. The only family I have is Josh.
Her only family is my family, and she didn't know my family when they took her in. So
I don't know any of Frank's family, and they're Massachusetts. So it's like I get the not having anybody, and I feel like I need some break of bullshit happening, and it's just hard when you have someone who does not understand you and your way you deal with things when it comes to stuff like this, because they don't think on the same level as you, which is a normal thing.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I would drop everything for